Hey guys, welcome back, and guess what? Fun fact, it's still summertime. Controversial hot take, I know. But I went onto my Instagram and I asked my friends what kind of video they would like to see. So one of the responses came in from Whitney, and she said she would like to see my summer recs. And then that got me thinking, what is a summer recommendation? I am terrible at these themed um, lists, I guess. So I don't know what makes a summary read, right? I have no idea. I don't read seasonally, so I don't really get that whole thing. But I did go ahead and ask a second question on my Instagram, and follow down below my Instagram link if you would like to be part of these questionnaires next time I ask them. But a lot of people had ideas of what a summer recommendation book was like. So I kind of put them together. There are 12 different ideas that people had thrown out, and I'm going to pick a book based on each of their ideas. So I don't know if this will fulfill the brief exactly, but this is based on what you guys said felt like summer reads, and these are books that I have read that fit these prompts, I guess. So someone said set in summertime. I thought that was decently easy to come up with. I came up with The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. This is like middle grade YA. It is a fairy tale retelling, I think. Yes, I always thought that The Goose Girl was by Shannon Hale was the original, but it actually is a retelling of an original fairy tale. So I would highly recommend this one, as it deals with a girl who kind of gets cheated out of her right as a princess, and then has to fight for that right to be reestablished. That's very vague, but it's really good. I really like this. I like iterations of this as well, because there are, well, this is a retelling, but there are other retellings, and I do tend to like the Goose Girl story and retellings, so I would highly recommend this one. It does take place in summertime, as far as I can tell. I don't really know what the seasons are in this world, but it is very summery vibes. The next one is this whole Sweno Bay Adventures. This is actually book 3. I only own book 3, but it is a graphic novel set in Vancouver, British Columbia, and from what I know, all of the books so far have been set in summertime. This one looks a little bit fallish, but it could be summertime. Not really sure, but I do know that largely this series takes place in summertime in Vancouver, BC. So I really like this. These little kids are adorable, especially this kid, because he has snot perpetually running down his nose. It's really funny and very cute and endearing, and I really love this series. The next idea for a summer read was an outdoor theme. I have lots of those. So for another graphic novel, I'm going with Lightfall by Tim Probert. I actually have this one from the library because I want to reread it because I own the second one. So I did read this one. I don't remember it, but it does take place in the great outdoors. All of it so far, from what yeah, it's all outside. So that fits the brief, as well as The Mermaid's Tale by L.E. Richmond. This is a Christian YA fantasy. It's kind of, it's a loose Little Mermaid retelling, I will say. And of course, it's all underwater, so that equals all outdoors. If you're in the ocean, you're outdoors. So that's this one, and I highly recommend this one as well. Another one that I just wanted to throw out there is Legacy of Roses. This one is more of a typical Christian YA fantasy, but I did want to shout it out because A, I did enjoy it, and then B, it's very heavily centered around the roses concept and picking the rose, and so that is all outdoors. So number 3 was lighthearted, fun, not much substance. This one was really, really hard for me because I feel like there aren't a lot of books written that don't have a lot of substance. You can find lighthearted in like rom-coms, but I feel like a lot of those still have quite a bit of substance. And then of course you can find fun books all day long, but not much substance. So this is one I'm going with, not really sure it fits. And that is 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hanff. This one I have chosen because it is epistolary, so it's just written in letter format. This would probably be considered nonfiction, right? Because these are real letters from real people in real times of history. So yeah, it's basically a woman who writes to the library in London. A woman in New York City writes to the library in London, and they end up having a correspondence surrounding books and discussing books and what's new in London, because London will get typically the first stuff before New York would get it. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's called The Beloved Classic, a 20-year correspondence between an American writer and a British bookseller. So it's considered a classic. I feel like it would be considered nonfiction, right? Because this was all real. So yeah, I don't know, but as far as like not much substance, I mean, they are just talking about books more or less. Like they do talk a little bit more personally about some stuff, but it is largely just about books. And don't get me wrong, I love books, but if you're talking about substance, maybe this fits. I don't know. The next prompt was from someone who just said they like fantasy, and that's all they ever read. So a summer rec is fantasy. So I had a very broad prompt for that one, and I'm gonna go with Mark of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. This whole Ravenwood saga, love, love, love it, and it is all summertime. I don't think there's any wintertime in this series, so I suppose it could help in that regard as well. But yeah, this is a fantasy, Christian fantasy about dream walking and assassins and houses of families and different abilities and feuds that go back decades and generations. And yeah, it's a really, really, really good, rich book. So then I also wanted to talk about Mortal Queens by Victoria McComb, I think. McComb. This is also a really great fairy-esque. I don't know. I would say a Christian fantasy because it's written by a Christian author, but I don't really see a whole lot of Christian specific content in it, but do with that what you will. So yeah, I did like Immortal Queens as well. The next prompt was set at a beach or a lake. Okay, so I mean I understand all of these prompts as being summary, but I don't know, I still don't feel it, you know what I mean? Because I can read summer books in winter. I don't like reading winter books in summer because I don't want to think about winter, but it's not a seasonal issue, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Anywho, so set at a beach or lake. First one I'm going to talk about is No Such Person by Caroline B. Cooney. This is a young adult about people at a lake, and then there is a murder in the cabin next door, and these teenagers, well, the one teenager specifically feels like she has some information, but other people doubt her. Yeah, so anyway, that's a really good book. I like that one. And another one would be Bamboo and Lace by Lori Wick. This one, I should reread this one, but this one has to do with a woman who goes out to visit her brother in Hawaii, and then he is called away. So she's there with like his friends and his in-laws. So she kind of has to find a way to entertain herself in Hawaii now that her brother has left. And so yeah, it's based in Hawaii, so I feel like that kind of fits with the beachy vibes. The next one was Cute, Light, Fluffy Romance. Okay, so all of that, not me. That's not me. but there have been a few that have come across my paths in recent years that I can talk about. And that would be Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. I did like this one. This one feels very light and fluffy and romancy. It's contemporary. Um, the male lead, I believe, was a big Lord of the Rings fan, so sometimes some of that will creep into the storytelling, and a lot of it was epistolary through emails, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that one I feel like would fit. Cute, light, fluffy romance. And then another one, which I've recently discovered and love to talk to you guys about, is Newlywed Games by Mary Davis. This one is a Christian romance, contemporary, really cute, fake dating trope. I just love this one. There's a lot of funny things that happen, and I just thought this one was really, really cute. And I don't read contemporary romance, so that's saying a lot, but I did love this one. Question 7. Someone said slice of life contemporary. Now, I don't really like slice of life, and I don't really like contemporary, so again, this one was hard, but I'm going to go with The Actor and the Housewife by Shannon Hill. Hey, I have 2 Shannon Hills on here. So The Actor and the Housewife is a contemporary, and it is about this woman in a happy marriage, also ends up connecting with an actor. She's has just a normal person job, and then somehow she connects with an actor, famous actor, and they have a connection, not romantic, but like they feed off each other, and they like have similar vibes and whatever. They become like best friends, and it's completely platonic, and it's just a really interesting look at a platonic male-female relationship alongside a happy marriage relationship. So yeah, I would say that's slice of life contemporary. It spans numerous years, so yeah. Prompt 8 is a female friendship, a book that features a female friendship, and this one again I found very difficult. I did find The Enchanted April I read, which is about a few older ladies. They go on a girls' trip to Italy, and one of them finds a romance out in Italy. And yeah, I enjoyed that one. I mean, it's not a new favorite, but I enjoyed that one. So that one definitely showcases the group of ladies who are our friends. And then another one would be Face of Betrayal by Liz Well. And this one I am going with because while it is very suspenseful, it is very deep in terms of the topics that are covered in this storyline. It's like crime and secrets and yeah, people in high status having secrets and exposing them, and all that kind of stuff. The reason why I've chosen this one is because our main 3 characters of this series, there are 3 books in this series, and the main girl from each one, they are friends, and friends from high school, I believe, and they all have like a different career path, so I think one is like FBI agent, one is a reporter, one is something else. So I'm gonna go with it, but just because the main characters are friends and they kind of help each other in each of the cases that each girl works on in each book. Does that make sense? So it's not really about the friendship, but I don't know. Prompt 9 is something adventurous, could be a summer read. So I'm going to go with the Bright Empires series, the whole series, starting with The Skin Map. This is Christian sci-fi, time travel type of stuff, and it's very, very interesting. I blew through this series so fast. I really like this a lot, and I need to reread it. So I highly recommend that one. And then another one would be Trader's Game by, is this Jennifer A. Nielsen? I hope I have that right. That is also a very good series. That's YA. This one is more adult, but yeah, I like that series very much as well. And I would say both have a very strong theme of adventure to them. Prompt 10 was thriller. I love that some people consider thrillers summer reads. So that one, I'm going to actually go with Eyes Wide Open by Ted Dekker. This one is part of the Outlaw Chronicles. This has to do with let's say, a mental facility someone being put in the mental facility that shouldn't necessarily be there, and then also kind of like dimensional travel, sort of supernatural a little bit, you know, that kind of stuff. And then the other one for thriller, I am going to go with Predator by Terry Blackstock. And this one is about a serial killer who finds his victims on online platforms, and then he does take a victim, and then it's that victim's older sister who is, I was gonna say she was in law enforcement, but I'm not really 100% sure on that. Anyway, the older sister tries to find the younger sister who was taken, so Predator is also a thriller. Prompt 11, suspense and mystery. Love that. So for suspense and mystery, I'm gonna go with two that very much echo each other in my opinion, and that would be any Agatha Christie you could read for mystery and suspense. This one I have by the pricking of my thumbs, but really you could pick any of them because it's really hit and miss depending on your personality or whatever, if you like that one or not like that one. So I would not judge Agatha Christie as a whole by one book, for sure not. So anyway, I would say Agatha Christie or any from the Mrs. Jeffries series. And this is a really great series where the household staff of the local inspector help him solve his crimes without him knowing. And it's very, very good. I love it. I'm in the middle of reading one right now. So both of these I think would very much work for suspense and mystery. And they're very short, so I feel like nice and easy to read at the beach or on vacation or whatever. And then the last prompt, which I also found a little bit tricky, was light but fast-paced. Usually I feel like the fast-paced ones have a lot of action, and I feel like action isn't very light. Correct me if I'm wrong, correct me if you disagree. But I'm gonna go with, and I think I might just be contradicting myself here with this one, but The Princess Bride. So I guess this one has lots of action. Yeah, it's very hard. But I do feel like it's light in its themes, like they don't take themselves too seriously, even the villains aren't very scary, you know? I don't know. I feel like this works for light but fast-paced, because fast-paced, because there's always something going on. As soon as our main characters move on from one scene, something's going on in the next scene. So I do feel like this one does work. And then another one I wanted to share for light but fast-paced is something I just recently read, which was The Sisters Grimm. And this one, I think the light aspect comes from it being a middle grade, and then fast-paced just because there's lots happening. So two little sisters are in the foster system, but then they're told that their grandmother has popped up and would like to have them and raise them. So they move in with their grandmother, and then things get weird, and giants and magic and, you know, stuff like that. So it's fun. So that is what I have for the summertime recs, because we are going to be still embracing that it is still summer for over a month yet, you guys. Still summer. And I don't know about where you live, but where I live, the weather is so temperamental that A, you want to hold on to whatever summer you do get, and B, summer weather can even still happen in like late September too. So if you're basing your seasons on the weather alone, summer could potentially last even longer. But yeah, we're just gonna leave it there. My little let's not wish summer away rant can conclude this video. I'm gonna try and hold the stack up for you. Ooh, I'm outside, so I really don't want these to fall. It'll fall in all the dirt. Woo. There is my stack of books. It looks very unsteady. So we're gonna wrap this up and say thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely summer, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!